Good morning and welcome to the 2026 Graduate Studies Virtual Expo. Throughout this week, we are hosting a variety of institutions who are highlighting their graduate programs for Seneca students and graduates. My name is Jennifer Kloosterman, and I am one of the Academic Pathways Advisors here at Seneca Polytechnic. Our team supports students and graduates who are looking to build on their Seneca credential. There are a variety of resources available that our team can provide, so be sure to connect with us after the session and we can assist you with any of those questions. This morning, we are happy to have Jibran from St. George's University School of Medicine. We are going to have a short presentation and then we will open it up to questions near the end. You can pop any questions into the chat or the Q&A and we will get to those after the short presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Good morning, everybody. It's really nice to be here today, and we appreciate the invitation to speak to students who may be interested in pursuing a career in medicine. First off, my name is Jibran Vahidi, as Jennifer mentioned. I'm the Executive Director of Recruitment for St. George's University. I'm based out of Toronto. Work very closely with students who are currently attending Seneca and applying to SGU School of Medicine. So today, I want to tell you a little bit about the opportunity that you have to pursue your goal of becoming a physician, if this is indeed a path that you're looking into. The first thing I want to do is definitely want to start us off with really talking a little bit about why what you're doing today is really important in terms of exploring your medical school options. So as you know, Canada is facing a critical healthcare shortage. According to recent projections, we're expecting a shortage of about 44,000 physicians by 2028. And already 6 million Canadians do not have access to a family doctor. So, this is, may not come as a big surprise to many of you here today. I think we kind of feel that need within our own communities. We know how hard our family doctors are working just to keep up. And this is a very serious shortage that calls for, some, thinking outside of the box and bold solutions as well. Uh, in terms of the competitive medical school landscape, I think this is sort of adding to the challenges. As you know, Canada has a very limited number of medical schools across the country, and those medical schools on an annual basis accept just about 3,000 students for nearly 15,000 applicants. So the acceptance rate is quite low. And for students who are interested in pursuing medicine, the options are very limited. And so, this presents many, many challenges for our students who want to get to that ultimate goal of practicing medicine, but do not have an actual pathway. And that's where St. George's University comes in. For SGU, we believe that redefining access to healthcare, really begins with redefining access to medical education. So I want to tell you a little bit about SGU and how we've grown over the years. So we've actually graduated more than 23,000 doctors who are practicing medicine in Canada, in the United States, and in more than 50 countries around the world. SGU is the largest provider of doctors into the US. So we place more students into first-year residencies in North America than any other international medical school. And we have a very extensive number of hospital partnerships right across Canada, the US, and UK. So all of our students do their clinical training back in North America. And we have over 2,200 Canadian graduates, more than 700 Canadians who are currently studying at St. George's University. And those students have a very strong residency match rate. So you can see here that Canada definitely has a deep connection to SGU. And many Canadian students have chosen this career path and have gone through SGU very successfully and are now currently practicing medicine. So the number one question that we field from our audiences when we're speaking with Canadian students and international students right across, our country is, how do I fast track my path to an MD? Do I have to do do I have to complete an undergraduate education? Will I be able to apply beforehand? Do you offer an accelerated pathway? And the answer to that is yes, we do. So there are two flexible pathways to earning your MD degree at SGU. You may be familiar with the traditional four-year North American MD program, and that's really designed for students who have an undergraduate degree. This is, of course, our core offering at SGU and remains our core offering. We support thousands of aspiring physicians who apply to SGU each year, but we definitely want to highlight our accelerated pathways as well. So the accelerated pathways are modeled after what is the internationally recognized MBBS system. But the key advantage here is that you're actually earning an MD degree. So this pathway allows students to begin their medical school journey from high school or as early as after a few years of undergraduate studies. You may have heard recently that we have launched into a partnership with the University of Waterloo. So this is also very exciting. We are going to be sitting our inaugural class in September 2026. And this is really exciting for students who are interested in an accelerated pathway. So after completing your time at Seneca, you may be eligible for the 6-year or the 5-year MD track, and you can start that journey at the University of Waterloo. And I'll tell you how that works. But first, just an overview of what the different entry points look like for our students who are coming out of Seneca. So depending on how many years you've completed and how, the program that you have completed as well, we do have an agreement in place. We're very proud to have that agreement. We've had some excellent students who have applied to our program, who have successfully received an offer of admission from SGU as well. But there are two sort of main pathways. There are the Arts and Sciences University Transfer pathway and the pre-health pathway as well. Both lead to our 5 or 6-year MD track. So as you can see here on the slide, for students who are coming into our 6-year MD track, that's considered essentially our preclinical track, you would be doing the equivalent of 2 years of foundational work at St. George's University at our campus in Grenada or our campus in the UK in Newcastle in partnership with Northumbria University, and now our campus at the University of Waterloo. So you would be completing your 2 years there, and then you would be streamlining directly into the 4-year MD program. So the benefit of this track is that you have a guaranteed seat in medical school that's waiting for you. There's no reapplication. You do not have to write the MCAT exam. You have again, a seat that's waiting for you, and you're already working towards that goal of yours of completing your requirements to start the MD program. So SGU has been offering the Doctor of Medicine track, the preclinical program, for nearly as long as we've existed. So there's definitely a track record there. We've had thousands of students go through our preclinical program and be very successful in attaining their goal of becoming a physician. So this program could be for you. Of course, we definitely want you to reach out so we can take a look at your qualifications and discuss what may be the right pathway for you. I want to take a moment to highlight our beautiful campus in Grenada. This is really our home away from home. The photo that you're seeing it's not Photoshopped, it's real. There's no filters there. This is a picture of our campus overlooking the Caribbean Ocean. It is definitely just as stunning as you're seeing it here in person. And it's a very comprehensive health sciences campus. We offer a range of programs from undergrad to graduate. We offer PhD programs. We have a research center on campus. And this campus is also home to our School of Veterinary Medicine as well. So a very beautiful place to study medicine. And again, as I mentioned, we do have a secondary campus in Newcastle, and now students have the opportunity also to start their preclinical track at the University of Waterloo. So this is another question that you definitely want to do some research on in terms of the amount of time that you're going to be investing in medical school and the resources. You want to make sure that you can graduate and successfully match into a residency program. So Residency and securing postgraduate training is your path to licensing. If you do not secure a residency, you cannot practice as a physician. So you definitely want to be looking at a school's success rate with matching students. In terms of our Canadian students, I'm pleased to share that SGU has maintained a 93% US residency placement rate for our Canadian graduates for over the last 5 years. So the unique advantage that you have applying to SGU and going through our program is that once you complete the program at SGU, you can in fact take both your US exams, which are embedded in the timeline at SGU, along with your Canadian exams to apply back into Canada. So I know a lot of students may not, know about this information or about the pathway back to Canada, but yes, there does exist a pathway and it is very streamlined. And a lot of that has to do with where our students are completing their clinical training, which is of course mostly done in the US. So through the reciprocity of training agreement between Canada and the US, all your training in the US is recognized here in Canada. For many of our students, they'll be going on to complete their residency training in the US and they can make their way back to Canada pretty much anytime. And depending on the area of specialty you've chosen, the path may require you to take one or two additional exams, or your entire training will be fully recognized and you may not have to do any exams, and you might have the opportunity to apply for dual licensing. So this is something that we walk our students through to make sure that they have a good understanding. A key takeaway here from this slide is that there are pathways for you to return home to Canada once you've completed the program and successfully matched into a residency. We know many of our students ultimately do want to come back and practice in their own communities, and that's a goal that they have even before they start the program, and we want to make sure that we provide you with those opportunities. And I can talk to you a little bit about how we're supporting our students with those very goals as well. In terms of your clinical training, this takes place in the final 2 years of your medical school journey. So one of SGU's unique differentiators is that we have a very large and extensive network of clinical sites across the UK, Canada, and the US, of course. And this allows our students to explore different healthcare systems, work with diverse patient populations, build a strong foundation for their career. And ultimately, having access to such a large network of hospitals really does equal greater learning opportunities for our students. So that's really, the point of having all of these sites available for our students. And finally, I do want to mention that, your clinical training isn't just going to take place in the US. There's an opportunity for you to come back in your final year and do elective rotations in Canada. SGU has a large network of clinical sites here as well. So we have elective sites in Ontario and in BC. And these placements really give our students the valuable Canadian experience that they need to be competitive to apply for residency back here in Canada, and to be able to essentially get the training and a parallel education in terms of what the local medical students are going and through and learning. So you're getting the same experiences as a Canadian student who's studying at the Faculty of Medicine at the University of Toronto, for instance, who is doing their placement at one of these sites. So you're working alongside those medical students and residents, and you're getting an excellent education, excellent experience that's really preparing you to be, again, more competitive when you're applying for a residency. So that is essentially what I wanted to cover with you. Finally, I would just say that, wherever you are in your academic journey, whether you're looking to start this applying now, and potentially looking at our 5 or 6 year track, or you're waiting to complete your time at Seneca, maybe even going on to completing an undergraduate degree, just know that, your transition to medical school, I think you can say that your learning is going to change a little bit for sure. You are going to require some additional support. Medical school is challenging. It is rigorous, but we do have pathways to ensure that our students are set up for success. So when you arrive in medical school, sorry, when you arrive in medical school, we're going to make sure that you are receiving the support that you need to succeed, and that's our primary objective. So let's take a look at where you are, what qualifications you have completed, and let's see how we can get you to your end goal of practicing medicine. So those are all the points that I wanted to cover today, and I'm happy to take on any questions.
Thank you for that. That was a great, lots of information there. Um, we are a very small group today, so if there is a question, I can if you want to raise your hand, I can unmute. Um, we'll give you a couple seconds to get any questions compiled. Yeah, if you would like to put it in the chat, you can do that, or like I said, just raise your hand and I'll unmute, and we can do it that way. And then my colleague has just posted the pathways information for St. George's University into the chat, as well as the academic pathways, like our information. If you have any further questions or need to be connected at a later time, just let us know, and we'll help you out. Okay, so we'll just give it another minute so to see if there's any questions that are going to come through, and if not, then we will end the session. Okay. I am not seeing any questions coming through. So I think you did a really good job of providing that information. Like I said, at a later time, if anyone needs to be connected, you can reach out to us or St. George's directly, and you can get the information that you need. So with that, we will end our session today. Thank you so much, Jabron, for joining us and taking the time. And I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks. Take care.